Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So, they've gone and done it. Manchester City have won the treble. They beat Inter Milan in Turkey last night, winning the Champions League and, of course, winning 1-0 after Rodri's goal. It has, of course, started plenty of debate around treble winners, Manchester United, Manchester City, all this, that, and the other. And, of course, loads of madness going down as well. I'm guessing we slept better than Romelu Lukaku after last night because, oh my God, those chances that he was involved in and Inter Milan missing, they will live with him for the rest of his life unless he goes on and wins the Champions League. And in fact, even if he goes on to win the Champions League, they will still live with him, especially that one that drew the save from Ederson. Yes, it was a good save. He was in the middle of the goal, 4 yards out. You have to put that away in the 88th minute of a Champions League final when you're 1-0 down. And Romelu Lukaku missed it. That will live with him and be haunting him forever. To be fair to Inter Milan, I think they put up a much better fight than anyone really expected. I think a lot of people thought the game was done and dusted. City would cruise to victory. Although Champions League finals are rarely like that, aren't they? They're always tentative, a little bit tense, a little bit tight. I know there have been a few that have been memorable, but Champions League finals are very rarely memorable for the football that's played on the pitch. And all that matters is winning it. And that's exactly what Manchester City did. As I said, though, the football-wise, on the day, not much to separate the two teams. Both had very limited chances, but the better chances probably went to Inter Milan. I thought they defended really well. They kept Manchester City at bay. They were obviously helped by the fact that Kevin De Bruyne went off the pitch as well. And then when you're creating those chances, you've got to take them. You've got to take them because whether City play well or not, they're going to score. And that's exactly what happened. It was an incredible finish, to be fair to him, by Rodri. And look, Pep Guardiola is a fantastic coach. He's a fantastic manager. And he'll go down as one of the best ever. Some of their players are incredible players. Some of the best players about. You look at the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, etc. Some absolutely incredible players, and I've missed some of those players out as well. So you look at all those things, and obviously they have a great team, they have a great manager. But I found it quite hilarious when I was watching some of the things on BT coming out after the game, and they described it as the greatest story in club football history. Like, are you ignoring the big 115 charged elephant in the room? Are you really ignoring that? Are you ignoring the fact that Manchester City were originally suspended from this Champions League, got away with it on a technicality? Like, for the fact that you just completely ignore that is bizarre to me, because you know for a fact if Inter Milan had 115 charges on them and were playing in the final, whether we would have won it or not, the amount of times that all those guys on BT would have been mentioning it, it would have been incredible. Oh yes, they're a great team, but we must mention this. You think about the same pundits, about the Qatar World Cup, about Live Golf, about everything else, but are weirdly quiet on this one. It says a lot as well when, did you see the owner, what's his name? Sheikh Mansour. It was his only second game ever. Happened to be a Champions League. That's your second game ever. Shows you how much you care about what's going on. And it kind of reflects the way I feel. Like, obviously I didn't want them to do it. I didn't want them to win the treble. But it would have been much worse if Liverpool or Arsenal done this. And that's because it does come with a huge asterisk. It does come with those charges hanging over them. It does come with all of that, despite the greatness that you do see on the pitch. Because you do see greatness on the pitch. They're obviously a fantastic team with some great players. But you cannot separate the two. They are the Lance Armstrong of football. And for that reason and that reason only, it may sound bitter right now. Who gives a fuck? Sir Alex Ferguson's achievement will always be the greater achievement. Doing it with academy players, win nothing with kids, building the club up from when he joined in '86 and returning them to their former glories. The way we did it along the way, beating Inter's R9's Inter, beating Zidane's Juventus, Rivaldo's Barca, on the way to winning the FA Cup, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. You know, it don't get better than that. It don't get better than that, and it won't get better than that. Also, we're the first to do it. Much more of a better achievement. Nevertheless, is a little bit sour grapes because they are treble winners. They are champions right now, and that is all that matters, is the here and now. But it does come with a huge asterisk. No one can deny that, and if anybody else wants to deny it, then you're just lying to yourself. But what we must also point out here is that Manchester United are in this position because of Manchester United and the Glazers alone. You know, and when I say Manchester United, I don't mean the fans and all that. I mean the owners of the club. They have brought us here. This is what happens when you invest $1 billion into a club that comes from nowhere, and you take $1 billion out of a club that was at the top of the game when you got it. This is what happens ultimately, and that's who Manchester United. Yes, we can talk about, and I think you're right to point out all the issues with the sports washing at Manchester City, but ultimately the Glazers have mismanaged Manchester United since they arrived in 2005, but particularly in the last 10 years. We've not challenged for a league title, not challenged for a Champions League, and with the resources, with the size of the club, we should have been, you know, with the head start, we should have been clear. And we should have won and challenged for a lot more than we have done in the last 10 years. So, you know, Manchester United can only blame the Glazer ownership. Now, we could end up in another similar position like Manchester City, where you've got state ownership, and I've always spoken about how I don't particularly want that. And you do hope whoever the owners are, United can compete again and will be run correctly and invested in correctly, because these lot clearly haven't done it, and that's the only ones we can blame are the Glazers, because, you know, Manchester United should have been there or thereabouts and preventing this thing from happening, regardless of the means that Manchester City have got to where they are. So yeah, Manchester City have won the treble. I'm not going to say congratulations, because why should I? But yeah, the only positive I have, but it's a very, very small silver lining in the cloud, is at least it weren't Liverpool. Or man, imagine if Liverpool would have won this last season. Oh my God, or the quadruple or something. The way I felt right now, I would have been feeling worse than Lukaku. Oh my God, that would have been horrible. And that is the facts of it. If Lance Armstrong beats you in a race, what are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're keeping it like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will be back very, very soon. As bitter as always. See you in a bit.